What's up, everybody? It's Wes again, and welcome to another video that I'm putting out here on YouTube. Thanks so much for all the people who have been subscribing in the last few weeks and few months. It's been sick to see the channel get up and going. Today I'm going to piggyback off of an idea that I talked about like a month ago about remixes. I kind of went on a rant about why remixes and kind of the remix culture isn't my favorite thing, but hopefully you found that video helpful, especially if you're a music producer. So I'm going to talk about 5 specific kinds of remixes that you can use to kind of guide your creative process if you're a producer. Alright, so number 1, you can do a piano-driven remix, and what I mean by that is that you're going to take a song that typically isn't really piano-driven and you're going to make it piano-driven. A piano is kind of one of those classic instruments. You can't really go wrong doing a piano-based remix. Probably the best example that I can think of, one of my favorite remixes, is shocking, it's a Kygo song. I love Kygo, but it's the Gryffin remix of First Time, originally performed by Kygo and Ellie Goulding. And I'm going to link all 5 of these remix references in the description, so if you want to specifically check them out, they'll totally be there and you can hit them up on the distribution platforms. What makes a piano remix so good is basically what I said before. Everybody's heard a piano, everybody loves the piano. It's an iconic, classic sound that it's just really digestible for tons of people. You can chord things out really nicely. You know, even if you don't know a ton about music, you know that you can make nice, genuine chord progressions, warm chord progressions with a piano. So check out the Kygo Ellie remix done by Gryffin. It's sick. I think you'll know what I'm talking about when you hear it. Alright, number 2, you can do a PLUCK-based remix, which PLUCKs are like the hottest thing ever, like right now, and they've been hot for like the last 2 or 3 years. You really can't go wrong doing a PLUCK-based remix. And what I mean by PLUCKs is, you've heard it all before, the plucky string-like instruments that are pretty much always in triplets that you're hearing. So a great example of that is the Gold House remix of There For You by Martin Garrix and Troye Sivan. You should totally check it out. Like I said, I'm going to link it in the description. You can't go wrong doing a PLUCK-based remix, and that can totally be the foundation of your song if you want it to be. Alright, third kind of remix that you can do is you can do sort of a dance bass or like house sort of based remix, and what I mean by that is you can let your bass synthesizers and your like 808 kicks and stuff like that fuel the remix. A lot of times these are just going to be the straight 4 on the floor type of thing that you hear where the bass drum is consistent for the whole song. It's super easy to follow for people, and again, you can't really go wrong doing that. If you want to look for inspiration, they're not necessarily remixes, but Calvin Harris is the master of funk and bass and house stuff, and like you really can't go wrong referencing his material. So although they're not remixes, I'm going to link his stuff in the description. Check it out. He's the master. Listen to his stuff, mimic his stuff. You can't go wrong. Alright, number 4, which is the one I've been waiting for, is just, in my opinion, the just freaking terrible remix. And I just feel like we have to discuss this because not every remix is a good remix. In fact, if you go back to my video that I made on remixes before, you know that like so many remixes are just terrible. And if you're like flipping through a competition and you're listening to remixes, the reality is most of them are really bad. And that's okay. I'm not mad at anybody for bad remixes. I'm sure not all my remixes are like the sickest thing ever, but it's good to know that like there is a genre of remix out there that's just under the terrible category. And my advice to you is avoid that. Use the 3 I've talked about before, and the 5th one's actually a good one as well. But I wanted to address the fact that your remix might be really bad. So think about it, use your creative energy, reference things, and like use these as parameters to guide your creative process so that you don't wind up making a truly terrible remix. That's my plea to you. Alright, number 5 is the perfect remix, which sounds really vague, and obviously this will be super subjective because you might not even like the reference that I have here, but you probably do just because of statistics. So the perfect remix, in my opinion, we'll start off with the example, is Despacito. Justin Bieber, Daddy Yankee, Luis Fonsi. I'm pretty sure currently the most listened to song on Spotify and other distribution platforms of all time, which knocked Closer by the Chainsmokers down to number 2. And like I think that's worth paying attention to. The number 1 most listened to song on Spotify of all time is a remix. Why? Well, A, Justin Bieber, but B, they took a song that had sweet potential, they remixed it with a new voice that everybody loves, right? So they played the Justin Bieber card, right? And Justin Bieber's not bad. If you have Justin Bieber, play the Justin Bieber card. They put an incredibly recognizable voice that everybody loves. Everybody loves everything about Justin Bieber. He's a massive figure. And they put it into a palatable pop structure. And they basically just obeyed all the rules of a good song in remix fashion, right? On top of that, they use the sort of like dual culture thing, right? It's a Spanish song. Like, you hear Spanish people singing. It's a blend of all these incredible things in the most perfect way possible. And that's why number 5, caps up the list with the perfect remix, which has got to be Despacito, Justin Bieber, Daddy Yankee, Luis Fonsi. So just to recap, number 1, the piano-based remix. Number 2, the PLUCK-based remix. Number 3, the dance or the bass or the house-based remix. Number 4, the terrible remix, don't be that person. And then number 5, the perfect remix, which is so many times just the blend of all the right elements that just with time you tend to kind of gravitate toward as a producer. Not everybody makes the perfect remix. I've certainly never made the perfect remix. It's something to strive for. It's my personal opinion. I hope that's valuable to you guys. Thanks for checking into the channel. If you haven't, subscribe. I'm going to be doing videos week after week after week after week, and I'm super excited to give you guys all the content I have. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.